Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a return subscriber. As always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I rarely ever talk about stories that, are kind of old since I started doing this crime thing on my YouTube channel. A lot of you guys send me stories from, years back that you would like to see me do, and sometimes I, pick and choose which ones I think would be good for the listening or watching audience. This story right here, I came across this by mistake when I was looking for something to do a video on. And this is a fascinating case. Now, this happened in 2016. I think they said it was April. And it's about this man right here. This guy right here is Stephen Williams. He was in the Air Force at the time. This story is out of Florida. I think it's called Stewart, Florida, or it's near Orlando. Either way, this guy is locked up with a 35-year prison sentence for taking the life of his wife, or they were separated at this time. Her name is Trisha Todd. Guys, this guy, I just did the story on Micah Miller and how she dealt with her narcissistic husband, John Paul Miller, who's a pastor. This guy right here, now, though it's not the same, this guy right here is what happens when you're married to somebody that's very sadistic and conniving. So there are different spectrums, different ranges of spectrum when you're dealing with somebody that tries to use mind control, whether they're seductive or physically abusive or just some type of intimidation tactic. One thing in all of these situations, one of the main weapons that are used against the loved one when someone's trying to establish control on you is guilt. I want you to take a look at this story, right? And look at how sadistic this guy was. And at the end of the video, I'm going to play you the actual news article with more information. This is crazy. Man, there are some people that are wild in the world and they don't care about nobody but themselves, and just they'll do anything they can to achieve an objective, whether it's taking over your mind, your body, or both. But just the absolute amount of control one person will want over another human being is astonishing to me, especially as somebody that you claim that you love or loved at one time. It's so hard nowadays for people to walk away from situations after they hurt those that meant the most to them, supposedly. Take a look at this.
Hi. Hello. We're just passing a missing person flyer.
Trisha Todd had disappeared. The 30-year-old mother gone without a trace. And detectives didn't have a single lead.
We had nothing. She vanished.
Days of searching, agonizing prayer vigils, no real clues. And then they found this. Trisha Todd's online journal.
When that came up, I couldn't read it quick enough.
The last entry, written at 11:30 the night she disappeared, titled Pain and Disaster.
I'm like, this is it. This is going to tell us where she's at or what happened or what led to her disappearance or her death.
Trisha's mysterious last note, including these lines.
Beautiful one. Exquisite soul. There was something I didn't tell you, and I won't. I can't. I'm afraid. And it's simply unfair, the power you have to crush my soul. I am still crying. I don't have the right to.
But who was she talking about, and what did it mean?
There's a guy that she enjoyed being around, enjoyed his company. It was very much a one-way relationship, and they think that she was talking about him. We don't know for sure.
Frustratingly, the last entry did not reveal Trisha's whereabouts, but detectives did find other chilling confessions about her ex-husband, Stephen Williams.
Probably the worst I've ever seen. I mean, it was worse than any horror movie.
Pictures of a younger Trisha with her dogs, writing,
Their story is long and sad. In the end, they died, of course. Charlie died from a kick in the abdomen. The story was, a car hit him. My neighbor helped me bury him while Stephen played video games.
He just didn't want to take care of them, and also mentioned, I think one of them had relieved themselves somewhere in the home. The barking, he just didn't want to be bothered with them.
A Doberman Trisha loved dropped off on a deserted road. And Miss Kitty.
Her neck was accidentally broken.
2 more kittens.
Both were poisoned slowly. As I recently found out, putting small doses of household chemicals in their only drinking water is an excellent way to kill kittens.
And finally, Peanut.
Beat to death with a crutch. I couldn't make an excuse for him that time. It takes a truly evil person to kill such a sweet kitten. That's when I finally saw him for what he was and left him. Stephen stood and watched coldly while I cried my eyes out, cleaning up the blood.
We realized what type of person we were dealing with, a cold-blooded monster.
Already a suspect. Detectives zeroed in on Airman Williams, stationed in North Carolina and visiting Martin County to see his and Trisha's 2-year-old daughter.
At the end, we knew he had killed her.
But Williams denied it, and with no proof, detectives had a chilling new fear. In 2 days, the man who they say killed everything in his way was taking his daughter away with him.
His daughter was due to go back with him to North Carolina, and it terrified us.
So detectives bore down, interrogating Williams relentlessly.
We just had to, tactically make her out to be the bad guy and him the victim, and that's what he played on. That's what he finally broke on.
Williams finally confessing, not that he'd killed Trisha, but that she'd drugged herself, passed out, and he drove her body somewhere so she couldn't blame him. He led detectives to this remote swamp where they did not find Trisha lying on the road as he'd claimed, but cut up with a chainsaw, buried in a container filled with acid.
I just kept thinking, how am I going to tell her mom?
And wondering, could Trisha somehow have been saved from this horrific ending? Remember, she'd left Williams in 2009 after he killed all of her pets, but then took him back, writing,
I had a beautiful affair with my husband last night. Please pray for me because the devil is attacking me. He is telling me that I made the wrong decision. I know that I did not. I do not remember the things he has done to me. It's like they do not exist.
A part of her felt like, he wants me. I've been chosen.
Psychologist Nell Collins says after reading her journal, she thinks Trisha, a hospice nurse, was a typical victim of abuse, that Williams manipulated her.
She probably established herself somehow very early on as a good, loving, obedient, caring person. What a wonderful target for us, Stephen.
Here's a sample. Williams writing Trisha this note in 2012.
I want you to know that I love you very much, and I really appreciate you. You're so patient and loving despite my many temperaments. I haven't meant to be cold or distant. Thank you for being such a loving and sweet wife.
He said things like that to her after he murdered her and cut her body up. He sent her text messages similar to that.
Investigators say Williams was calculating and cold to the end, striking a 35-year plea deal by leading them to the body, where prosecutors were enraged to find most of her still missing.
We will have the benefit of utilizing the evidence we've discovered out here, and I will put this man on a slow bus to death row.
If Trisha had listened to that voice telling her she was making a mistake, she might not have gone back with Williams, not have gotten pregnant with their daughter, and with no child support to be angry about. Detectives say he might not have come here armed with a chainsaw and acid to kill her.
He is truly a monster.
That's the story of this piece of shit, Stephen Williams, and what happened to his ex-wife, Trisha Todd. May she rest in peace. This guy was torturing animals. It seemed like anything that brought her happiness or took attention away from him. Classic scenarios we see out here, guys. He hated it and had to destroy it. He came up with crazy reasons of why the animals died. One animal he left on the side of the road, abandoned it. Another animal, he broke the neck of it. Who does that? Serial killers start off young and psychopaths torturing animals. This guy's no different. He's a grown man in the Air Force, had a future. She seemed like a sweet woman. What you marry her for if all you was going to do is destroy her life? This woman died in a cruel way. What amazes me about this is he dismembered this woman with a chainsaw. I don't know any story of a black dude doing that before. I don't. That right there is crazy. Did you see the smug look on his face? He's one of them people where when something's serious, they always had his look on their face like it's funny. He only admitted to guilt once they gave him a plea deal. I wouldn't have gave him nothing. In fact, like I said, with a lot of these other cases, like the Sade Robinson case, you know what I'm saying, that's going on right now, where she was dismembered in Wisconsin by the guy that was out there. He ain't talking. They ain't found all of her body. They ain't found all of this woman's body. I'd have beat him to death, and he would have talked. They need to have special rules for special cases like this. That woman was passive, submissive to him. All she wanted to do was be loved and respected as the female counterpart to his male being, and he couldn't even do it. See, a lot of times, man, situations like this, when a person try to get away, they play this game. What did they say he did? And a lot of people go fall for this. You know, you usually see a lot of men doing this though. They'll grind you into the dirt. Then when you think almost everything's over, they know when to pull you back and wipe your face off and tell you how good of a job you're doing and how precious you are to him. And a lot of people fall for it. It cost this woman her life when she got back involved with him. Did you hear the things? Oh, I had an affair with my husband last night. Oh, I think he really does love me. This is sickening behavior. See, physically attacking somebody and hurting them is one thing. But the mental aspect of playing, you know, terrorism with their mind is another. There's three things that I can't stand and I don't give no respect to. When somebody messes with the mind of somebody that's gullible and it results in, you know, them trapping that person to do harm to them. You know what I'm saying? Messing with the minds of a child or crushing their confidence or putting them in a position where they can't grow up fruitfully and targeting people that have no way of defending themselves. Those are the three things that set me off, and there need to be special laws where there's no leniency or sympathy for people that do this kind of stuff. This guy chopped this woman up with a chainsaw. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I'm about to play you this video when I leave out of here, and I'm closing out now. I'm gonna play you the video, the actual news article that came out in 2016 that has all these details about how evil this man was. She had a prominent career in nursing, wanted to help people, had a good heart. This guy was in the Air Force, could have been all that he could be. That's the Army, but still, you know what I'm saying. Both had promising careers. Why couldn't you build together? One little girl, and she's cute. Cute little thing. Bro, you had it all. You had a diamond in your hand, and you threw it in the dirt, like a lot of other people do, in your own supreme selfishness. And look where it landed you. I don't see how this man did not get the death penalty, ladies and gentlemen, and they only gave him that bullshit 35 years for him to say one word. Yeah, I did it. When all y'all had to do was beat his ass and he'd have spilled the fucking beans. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Coming up now is the actual 2-minute video news article, and it explains everything. Horrific. See you in the next video. Take care. And you people be careful out there, because nowadays it's not just men doing this crap, it's women too. So be forewarned. Guard your heart. I'm serious. Guard your heart. I mean, give love, but I mean, go by what you see and what you feel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Exactly right. Stephen Williams lied for weeks about his ex-wife's disappearance, but he couldn't explain away the video of him leaving the crime scene. What was the gotcha moment that finally pressured Stephen Williams to confess to killing his ex-wife?
There's a video of this person walking up the street.
That's him?
That is him. That is Stephen Williams.
Hundreds of hours of scouring surveillance tape paid off.
As soon as I saw that, I said, we got him. I knew it had to be him.
Confronted with that video, Williams caved, and they got their partial confession. But it's only now that we're hearing exactly how Williams really killed Trisha Todd.
As soon as she came to the door, he said he put her in a chokehold and pass out. He used zip ties and he tied her up. Once he had her secured, she woke up and she started screaming. And he said at that point, he just lost control.
He wanted her to wake up and give up her email password and credit card numbers so he could make it seem like she'd gone to Haiti on a mission trip and then disappeared. But Trisha kept screaming, so he knocked her out with a military baton.
and he said he used a jump rope that he had brought with him for this purpose to strangle her, and then he loaded her into the car in a trash bag.
After weeks of lies and only after he secured a plea deal, Williams led detectives to the site where he'd had a chainsaw and a container full of acid waiting that night, and where he buried Trisha's remains. And detectives tell me that this wasn't Stephen Williams' first plan. His first plan was to cut her up, put her in some coolers, take her out in a boat he was going to rent, and dump her body overboard. But he decided that was too risky. Live in Stewart, I'm Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.